Talanoa that we try and have every Tuesday here. And another warm welcome to my colleague Maria Bernard from Pacific Heartbeat.
Lovely, thank you. Nice to be here.
And I was thinking, Maria, you've been with the team a little while now.
Yes, I've been with Pacific Heartbeat for 8 months.
How's it going? Are you
Loving it.
putting up with us?
It's great.
Oh, great to
Great
have you
job.
here, as Muffy couldn't quite make it today. But
Thank you.
And remember, viewers and listeners, keep listening to the whole session, because at the end, Namai's got a $50 pack and save voucher. She's got a hot question up her sleeve, and whoever can phone in first with the answer can win a $50 pack and save voucher, so you can get your Christmas goodies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here we are.
So last week, Palangi Sue, what did we talk about last week?
Well, we were going right over the how to read a food label. You know, that little box on a product at the supermarket. So here's the tiny little box, and you normally need your glasses or your magnifying glass to see it. So we were talking all about how to read that and why we needed to read it. Yeah.
So on this little box, and this is a giant size box that you can see clearly. That's what we're going to be looking at. And on there are what on the far left would be it's going to be your right today, but on the left, when you're looking directly at the label, it lists the nutrients or the goodness and the badness of things that are in the product.
So it's got the goodies and the baddies that
That's
say
right,
in
yeah.
that can or in that cereal packet. Yeah.
Good, that's right. And then the other column that would be there on the label would be the per serve column, the up and down column.
And that's the middle one?
That's usually the middle one.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking directly at it, it'll be on your right, and that's the 100-gram column, and that tells us the amount of what is in the product.
So that's how much goodness and badness is in 100
That's
grams of any product. So say these baked beans, Maria, I've got 100 grams of this one, and I've got 100, they're the same size, and it tells us how much of goodness or badness is in that product.
That's right.
Yeah, we can compare it.
Comparing, yeah.
And choose the best one.
Choose the best one for our family.
Yeah. So, in saying that, what things should we be looking out on, on that
Take that back,
box?
Yeah. So, what we should be looking for, the nutrients or the things that are good or bad for us, the 3 S's, and they are sugar.
Yep, found sugar.
Sodium, or it's also called salt.
Okay, I found sodium. It's down the bottom.
Good. And then saturated fat.
Okay, because that's the bad fat.
It's the bad
isn't it?
fat.
Found
Saturated
that one
fat
as well.
is the bad fat.
And then we come over to the 100-gram column,
That's right.
down on the right-hand side there, and have a look. Say if it's our baked beans, which one's got the lowest of those baddies.
That's right. And then for those 3 S's, less is best. We say less is best because those we can harm our bodies if we have too much.
So that's a good way of remembering it, Maria, isn't it? Less is best of the 3 S's. Yeah.
But there's one thing on there that we want you to have more of, and that is fibre.
Okay.
Fibre
That's a funny word.
Yeah, so it's hard. If you don't know what fibre is, it's another word for it is roughage. And the other thing that you can tell what fibre is, say, like if you're eating corn on the cob, which is coming in season.
It is, yeah.
Just those little bits that get stuck in your teeth,
Yeah.
that is fibre.
Okay, so it's from plants.
It's from plants. Fibre comes from plants. And like the celery, the stringy bits on celery.
And that would be the skin off the apple as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, those are all fibre.
Fibre. And why are they good for us? Why do we need to be getting more of that, Maria?
Yeah, because they help us go to the loo. They're like sweepers in
Are
our
they?
body, and they sweep the food through.
Keep it all moving through.
Keep us regular and moving. Yeah, keep the food moving through our bodies.
Oh,
Exactly.
very good. So we need to get more fibre.
Need more
but
fibre.
less of those 3 S's.
That's right.
Yeah.
And fibre can also be called dietary fibre, in case you don't see that
It's
word.
a fancy name.
It's a longer word, but it's the same as fibre.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Oh, that's a good tip. Thanks, Maria.
And we decided to talk about something else this week, didn't we, Palangi Sue?
Well, we would, now that we know how to read that box and look for the goodies and the baddies in there, but also sometimes it's really good to look at the ingredients. And we can find the ingredients normally underneath that box, that food label box. So there's the box, and on this cereal packet here, we've got the ingredients right underneath. And do you know how they line them up?
Yes.
The ingredients up, Maria?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting way. They put the largest amount of the product, of whatever is in the product, first in the list, and they put the smallest amount last in the list. So if you were reading an ingredient list and maybe you saw oats or wheat, and you could probably say that that was probably a healthy food.
And look, I'm reading this one, and this is a cereal, and the very first one is whole grains, so those good ones, and oats, just like you've said. So it's got a lot of those in there. So they're healthy things,
They are healthy for us. But if you saw sugar or salt or fat that was first on the list, then you could probably guess that it was probably not very good for you, because it would have a lot of that ingredient, salt, sugar or fat.
So we want the good stuff at the beginning of the list and the bad stuff in there, not at all, or at a little bit of it at the end of the list.
At the end is okay.
Yeah, okay. And it's normally the ingredients are underneath the food box. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
And guess what Palangi Sue's got today to show as well about food labels? Have you heard of an app, a phone app called Food Switch?
Yeah, it's a fancy app, isn't it?
It is a fancy app, and you can download it onto your phone. I've just downloaded it onto my phone here, and it's a way of looking at our food products. Say I've got some baked beans here, using our phone. So once you've downloaded it, you can see the picture on your phone, or the icon on your phone is like a blue shopping basket with a couple of arrows going into it.
And it's free, isn't it?
It's free to download, Maria.
Yeah.
And when you bring it up, it looks a bit like you're going to take a photo, because you kind of are. And so you just hold that
over the barcode.
Yeah, you just hold your phone. Palangi Sue's trying to steady your hands here. Over the barcode. I've held it over this baked bean can barcode. What is it? By Pam's.
Pam's.
And it comes up with a traffic light system. Now, we know when we're at the traffic, Maria, if the light is red,
well, we stop.
We should be stopping.
Yes.
And if it's orange, what should we be doing?
Well, we should slow down.
We should slow down. And what about green?
Green is fine. You can go.
Well, it's the same with this food app. It's the Food Switch app. It's an Auckland University app, and it's got all our New Zealand foods behind it, and it comes up with a red, orange or green traffic light.
Yeah.
So on this one here, if we know we've got a lot of greens, it's a good baked bean can. But if there were some red or some orange ones, they also give us some choices of some healthier ones.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
They list other different brands of the same product.
Yeah,
that you can choose.
So you've got 2 baked beans here. You could scan them both with the Food Switch, and then look at which one you think looks the best. So that's really handy to have.
It's really helpful.
Because you've got your phone in the supermarket normally.
That's right, yeah.
So it's Food Switch. Yeah, that's the name of it.
That's another tool to help you buy the best ingredients for your family.
Yeah. And Maria, we were thinking, because it's nearly Christmas time, that it might be quite cool just to have a little chat about, maybe you've got some tips for Palangi Sue so she doesn't put too much of the muffin on over her holiday, because she's having a few weeks off. So
me too. Yeah.
We'll have a competition. So
yeah.
Have you got any tips?
I do.
Maria?
I've got some good tips. Yeah. So we should when you're eating,
Yes.
practice mindful and thoughtful eating.
Thoughtful eating.
So eating slowly, chat with your family. That when you're chatting and eating, it slows you down. And you can also put your knife and fork down while you're having a chat, and that will slow you down a bit as well.
Because we know it takes 20 minutes for our tummies to know they're full. So if we could just slow our eating down a little bit by chatting with each other
That's
and
right.
putting our knife and fork down,
It gives
we
our
might
body a chance to
be full.
realize that we're actually full and catch up with our eating.
So to be thoughtful about our eating,
Yeah.
try and think about it. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Thank you.
And the other one was hand portions.
Okay. Should we have a bit of revision because we've talked about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So say I'm going to have some taro or some potato or some rice or some green banana.
So
We
fist.
use our fists,
Fists,
don't
yeah,
we?
to measure it.
To
That's
measure
right,
it on
yeah.
our plate. Yep, that's a good one. What about
Yeah.
our meat, Maria? What would we use on our hand for our meat?
Yeah, if you're going to have some meat, you just use your palm. Just
Our
a palm
palm?
size for a piece of meat, not your arm.
So not our old arm. Oh, you're a meanie. Just our palm.
Just a palm. I'm thinking of you.
So you're
yeah.
thinking of me in my togs in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Maria.
On the beach.
So that's for the meat or the chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for fish, you use your whole hand.
So we can have our whole hand.
Yeah, for a
but not
piece
our,
of-
not two hands.
Not two hands, just
One hand.
One hand
For,
to
so
measure.
it's one
your-
fillet, really, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
that's right.
And what about our colourful vegetables? Because we know the fist is for those white starchy ones.
Yes, for the root vegetables.
Yeah, like the taro and potato. What about our colourful ones?
So then you would use two hands
Two hands.
for your colourful vegetables like carrots and broccoli,
Lettuce,
spinach, yeah,
tomatoes,
all the
yeah.
colourful leafy
Capsicums.
greens. Yeah,
Yeah, fill it up. So we
Fill
need
them
to
up.
fill up. They've got lots of that fibre in it as
that's
well,
right.
haven't they?
All the fibre.
Oh, that's a great tip. So use our portions. Try and eat more slowly. That's very
right.
thoughtful. And I've got just a one for Palangi Sue before she starts going to parties. Is maybe to have I should have a little snack before I go. Because often at parties there's a buffet or there's a lot of food, and if we're really hungry, we just load up our plates. But if we've had a little snack before we go, we mightn't be quite so hungry.
Yeah.
Maybe not pile it on quite so
Eat
high.
less. Yeah.
I'm going to try that one anyway.
Yeah, that's a good one. And if you're at the beach and you've got your children there, join in with the children and play with them on the beach.
So instead of just having a rest, get
Yeah,
up
get up and move,
get playing.
and exercise a little bit.
Yeah.
Walk up and down the beach if you
Yes.
want.
So actually move a bit more over the holidays because we've
That's
got a little bit
right.
more time, haven't we?
Keep moving. A little walk up
Yeah.
to the park or up the street.
So just keep moving.
That's right.
That's a great one. And I was thinking, Maria's got her nice water bottle here, and we know that I've got a bottle of Fanta here, and we know that fizzies have a lot of energy or calories in it, and I know that's going to put on the muffin top on Palangi Sue.
It is. Yeah.
So I should really try and not have so many sweet drinks.
Drink lots of water.
And have
gonna
more
be
water.
hot.
Yeah, and it's going to be hot, isn't it?
That's right,
So,
so-
see, Namai's, we just mentioned water, and she's having a drink of water. So we're copycats.
Yeah, so just drink lots of water.
Oh, well, that's a good one. So, so just in summary, we need to be looking at the ingredients
list.
on our food label, which is underneath the box.
And it's just if you the first thing in the
In the
ingredient
box?
list is oats, then
Yes.
it's probably a quite healthy choice.
Yes, or veggies or something
or
like
vegetables, and if it's got sugar, fat, or salt, that's the first on the list. Then we'll probably know it's not so healthy for us.
that. Yeah,
'Cause
so we
it's
want
got
the
a-
good stuff first and the bad stuff last, or not there at
Exactly.
all.
Or
So
not there at all.
that's
Yeah.
underneath the box, the food box on
Yeah.
the label.
label box.
And then I've got my fancy Food Switch
Foods-
app.
Yeah.
Yeah, for downloading and using in the supermarket to try and using the traffic lights.
It's another good tool.
That's another great tool.
And then our Christmas tips.
yeah. So what are they again?
So thoughtful and mindful eating.
Okay.
So eating slowly.
Yep.
Let's hand portions.
Our portions.
Then
And
eating.
for Plangi Sue to have a snack before she goes to her parties.
Yeah, and then just keep moving, doing some exercise with your children or just on your own, up and down the street or the beach.
And to try and swap and have the water because it's nice and hot. So we're going to be thirsty anyway.
Drink more water.
And so this is our last program for the year, Maria, and we're not going to be back now till I think it's going to be replayed again next Tuesday. So you'll see us there, but we'll be back again on the 14th of January, Tuesday the 14th of January at 2:00, and we're going to have one of our nutrition course graduates a special guest. We're going to boot one of us off, Maria.
Yeah.
They're getting sick of us.
It's probably me.
And me. And so we'll have a special guest, and we might just do a little bit differently next year. So we really look forward to being back in a shiny new 2020, and but we really hope you have a wonderful Christmas with your family.
Yes, we really wish you a great, Merry Christmas and safe travels if you're going anywhere. So,
and have a good rest. Yeah, and remember just before we go that Namai is going to ask a cunning question about this session on the radio very, very soon. And so if you can come up with the answer, you're in to win a $50 Pack and Save voucher.
Start your Christmas shopping.
Yeah. So thanks, Maria, for coming on, and thank you, Namai. You have a wonderful Christmas as well, and we'll catch you next year. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Pasefika Health Talanoa, proudly brought to you by Pacific Heartbeat at the Heart Foundation.